Hey everybody! Welcome to Let's Look at Invisible Ink. This is the new game from Clay. You may know them as Cly, but it is pronounced Clay. For once I have some clout here, because they're Vancouver local, and so am I. So this is the new game from the studio that made Shank 2, Don't Starve, Mark of the Ninja, and all of the, DLC and expansion packs and director's cuts and Criterion Collection stuff that surrounded all of those. This is their new game. It's in early access right now, and I want to mention a couple of things about that to start with. There's some people who have a constitutional kind of aversion to early access. If you're one of those people, sure, I can understand where you're coming from there. There's been a lot of early access games that have burned people. Clay has a really good reputation with early access. Don't Starve was one of the first games that came out on the platform, and obviously that has been completed and then expanded upon. So if there's any company that I trust with early access, it is Clay. What is Invisible Ink? Invisible Ink is a stealth-focused, turn-based, squad-based strategy game. The way that I would probably describe it to be a little bit less hyphenated and verbal diarrhea-y is that it's a stealthy XCOM type thing, but instead of surrounding, an alien invasion, it's more of a corporate espionage type thing. We play as a squad of spies, basically, who are breaking into, bureaucratic institutions and prisons and banks and stuff like that, and stealing information, stealing money, and, furthering some kind of anti-New World Order or something or other that I don't totally understand yet. Anyway, we're gonna get started. I played about an hour of this in its current version, and I played 2 hours in its alpha version. This is a beta right now. But I played its alpha version last August when it came out, so I've got about 3 hours total, and holy hell, this game has come a long, long way. When I originally played it, I liked it. We're just going to start in the story mode here. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. It had some good ideas, but there was some really not so fantastic UI stuff that was bothering me. It's seriously come a long way. It feels a lot tighter. The camera controls are totally fine now, and it's a pleasure to play, and it's very, very addictive. It really does hit that kind of like stealthy XCOM type thing, and I'm very excited to see where the game goes from here, but it's already very, very playable. So when we start, we can pick our squad of 2 members, and there's only 4 people, or 4 squad members or classes, basically, in the game right now, and I've only unlocked 3 of them. So you start with Deckard and International, and they both have like their own, or they each have their own specializations. So Deckard is a little bit better on stealth. What that means, to take it out of, some kind of nebulous kind of attribute term, is that he gets a little bit more movement. What hacking means is that I believe it takes a little bit less of your hacking resource to hack stuff, if I'm correct on that. And they all have their own special abilities as well. Like he has the stealth ability, but he also has some equipment here that gives him, the ability to turn invisible, and also basically like a taser, which is what she has as well. But she can also use wireless hacking devices, so she doesn't have to be right next to things. Anyway, I also just unlocked Shalim 11. So it looks like he's best at inventory. So basically every one of those bars gives you more inventory slots, which is good because there's a number of things that you can take for optional objectives on any given mission. The game is very kind of sandboxy in the objectives that you have. They just kind of throw you into a building and they're like, take what you can get, but the most important thing is just get out safely. So he actually starts with a rifle, but I'm not going to use him because I know International, and the game is a little tricky, so I don't want to mess around too much with things that I'm not totally familiar with. So we'll go with the standard loadout here of Deckard and International, and I'll get started. So I just ignored that screen. There is a little bit of voice work coming here, so I'll let them speak for now so you can get a feel for it.
Strange patterns in the global market. We don't know what it all means yet, but it's accelerating. We should prepare for a major action in the coming days. This won't be easy. Our resources are stretched thin. I've lined up some lucrative contracts and targets of opportunity that we can exploit to better our position. I'll let you choose the missions as you see fit, but be careful. We can't afford another setback right now.
So you probably can't even hear that, and I apologize for that. But there is some voice work in the game, and it's dutifully done. Totally, absolutely fine. This is our kind of like XCOM-y type screen. Again, this game seems heavily inspired by XCOM. For the better, not for the worse. So basically, we start in, I don't know, I guess this would be... Okay, you're testing my geography a little bit here. This would be like Hungary, where we start. Maybe we're in like Budapest or, I don't know, Vienna or something like that. Anyway, we have a number of missions, and we get to choose where we want to go. Thunder Bay would not be my first choice for, various vacation-y reasons. But these are missions that we're going to want to take in order to get extra reputation. Reputation helps us unlock new stuff and maybe get us harder and harder missions or more lucrative missions. And credits, which allow us to upgrade our squad. So each one of these has a travel time, as well as a security level. So there should be some that are very guarded, As you can see, some of these are very guarded. And some of them are just going to be regular guarded. So we're going to go to Colombo here, which I guess is on the southern tip of India. And what's important to note is you actually want to kind of plan a route here, because you're going to be bouncing from wherever you go to your next mission. So it might not make sense for us to go over here to Colombo if we want to do these North American and South American missions next, because there is travel time. When the 72 hours tick down, I think you get to like some kind of final last stand mission type thing. And if you ever lose your squad on any mission, you're done. Sorry, I hit my microphone there because I'm talking with my hands, because you can totally see them. So that just marks like the end of your game, and they give you a high score, which you might have seen on the opening screen. Anyway, we're going to start in Colombo here. So let's click on that and infiltrate.
They're rebooting their regional servers and aren't recording.
So she's going to give us a little bit of a mission briefing here that I'm not really going to focus on, and I'll just talk over. Basically, the way that things work is they'll give you some kind of rough outline of what's going on in the building. So, for example, here she says, keep your eyes peeled for a nanofab. You should be able to override its security clearance. So you have a couple of different objectives on any given mission. We'll just get started here and you'll see what's going on. I really like, it's a kind of a slick loading screen as well. But maybe that's a little bit shallow. I'll talk about the alarm system as we get going as well. There's a lot of stuff to talk about here in case you didn't notice. Yes. So there's a couple of things that we have to, or we don't have to, but we should pay attention to on any given run. One thing that we want to do for sure is get credits. You can see, like, I have 500 credits right now. We use those for a variety of different things. Upgrading our units, buying new equipment, you know, consumable items, or equipable items like guns, for example, if we wanted to have ranged combat. Right now we're just equipped with 2 melee weapons. And stuff like that, and like attributes that we can use to upgrade our characters later. But there's also sometimes sensitive data and stuff like that, which we can take back, which will up our reputation. Or, you know, site plans, and we give those to the agency, and they give us more credits as a result. Anyway, let's just get started. So this is very, very XCOM-y. For all the shit that I've talked so far, it's going to be pretty easy to understand what's happening once we get in. We have 2 units. I can use tab to switch between them here, and you can see their abilities. We probably won't end up using all of these, but anyway, let's start. You can see very clearly the action points above the character. That's, you know, everything takes an action basically except for things that don't. And you can just hover over where you want to go, and that'll tell you how many action points you have left once you get there. So let's kind of explore our environment a little bit here. So we do have to be very wary about discovering enemy units. In contrast to XCOM, at least the way that I play the game, I find that it's oftentimes better to split your units up so you can accomplish more, and you're playing stealthily, so it's not like XCOM where you're going to have like a 30% chance to hit, so you want to have like 5 units all facing the enemy so they can get that. It's almost better to just have 1 unit, a little bit less of a liability, at least in my limited experience so far. So our turn ends and time goes on. Every turn that happens, this, yes, I'll talk about that. Every turn that transpires, the alarm level goes up. So you know how in XCOM you have meld canisters, and the main pressure to get you to rush during a mission is getting those meld canisters so you can upgrade your units. In this, every turn the enemy gets a little closer to having more advanced security. So at level 1, security cameras start turning on. At level 2, electronics take longer to hack. You'll see the hacking kind of extensively as we get going here. At level 3, they introduce like more guards. At level 4, they introduce tougher guards that, you know, have armor and stuff like that, and so on and so forth. So your pressure is really to move quickly, but carefully, but quickly, so that you have less security to deal with. And we end the mission whenever we see fit by basically just finding an elevator and going up to the next floor, which allows us to get extracted. Anyway, I moved over to this door, and I'm going to peek through, which costs us an action point. And there's our elevator. So the elevator, you know, the levels are procedurally generated, as you might expect. The elevator is something we're going to want to keep an eye on, as it is our final destination here. So we're just going to move forward a little bit and then peek. No matter where we go, if we want to succeed, we're going to have to... oh, it requires an action point to do that. Okay, no matter where we go, if we want to get out of this alive, we're going to have to go to that elevator. So we have a guard over here. I'll talk about what we're going to do with that guard momentarily. But for now, let's just take Internationale over here, and she'll peek into this room. And we can see that there's a guard watching this, probably. So why don't we set up a trap for this guard? What I'm going to do is move over here. We can just infer by the fact that there's like enemy vision cones over here that there's an enemy in this region. Unless the room is like huge and stretches all the way back. But anyway, so I'm going to set up a trap for this guard. So I'm going to open the door. That should give us some vision. A little bit of vision. But it'll also make the enemy go like, huh, what's going on? Most of the time at least. And then we have basically an overwatch called Melee Reaction. And if I just click on that, whenever the enemy walks by, if they go like, you know, who's there, and walk out, then I'll taser them and they'll be knocked out for a couple of turns. So let's end our turn and see if that plan works. Sometimes it doesn't. They should be moving now. All right, that guy's not going to be in that room, which is good for me. Okay, they didn't. So what we're going to do is we'll peek again. Oh, you know what? There's not a guard in here. There's actually a power supply and a turret. So I'll talk about hacking in a second, but first let's figure out what we're going to do with this this gentleman in here. Yeah, so this room is pretty much empty. We can peek into this one, and we can see some more things worth hacking. We can't see where the enemy is. So I'll just enter incognito mode here and talk a little bit about hacking. So it almost looks a little bit like Transistor when you go into this mode. What this is it allows us to see the kind of cybernetic or computer-based circuit stuff that we have going on here. And there's various things that we can hack. So we can hack the power supply to this turret, and that will turn the turret off. We could hack the turret itself if we wanted to. I'm not sure if that would actually allow us to kill the soldier in here. That would be cool if it worked, but also loud. We can also hack these, which I believe are safes. Yeah, so these are corporate safes, which will, and a camera database, which will open up, that'll allow us to see where all the cameras on the map are. Yeah, if we hack the corporate safe, we can get credits, we can get sensitive information and stuff like that. Now, what's the point of hacking? Like, what's the resource that we expend? It's this power up here in the top left. Every turn, because of a passive ability we have called Power Drip, we get +1 power. Each one of these things, as you can see, costs 1 power right now to hack. That'll get more expensive as the alarm levels go up, so it makes sense to me to just hack the stuff right away. Well, it's still basically half price. So we're going to hack the camera database. This will allow us to see all of the cameras on the level, and we can even hack some for ourselves, which is great because it gives us vision, which is important in case you can see there's enemies around. There's not here, but that's okay. There was more stuff to hack. One second. We'll hack this this camera right here. That should allow us to see this guard, which it does, and we'll hack this safe. Now, we're almost out of power, but we can hack electronic consoles that we see, or computer consoles that we'll see throughout the game, that will allow us to get more power back more quickly, because we're going to need it. So where did this guard go? I have no idea, but we've done a pretty good job here. I don't really want to hack this power supply, but I'll do it just in case. Yeah, and I think we're going to do the same trap that we tried to do last time. We're going to open up this door. Hopefully this guy goes like, what's going on? We can observe him and see what his patrolling patterns will be. Yeah, so it looks like he's going to walk back out here. So I'm thinking what we will do is move over here and then turn on melee overwatch. And then end our turn, and he'll walk down here, and we should be able to taser him and then, you know, steal whatever he's got in his pockets, which could be useful for us. So there you go. You just watch that trap work in action there. We've got another guard. Looks like they're going to be coming up through here. But anyway, we're going to start with Deckard here. So let's steal whatever they've got. $80 in credits. That's, you know, not a very good amount of money, honestly. We could drag the body if we wanted to, but instead I'm going to just move into this next room. And one thing that's important is kind of like covering your tracks. So we're going to close that door behind us, which I believe does not cost an action point. Then we're going to come over here, and we'll peek through the door and see what's going on in this room. There's a guard, like, around here, I think. But we're going to... You know what? I think I may actually open this door. No, I'm not. I'm just going to cool it for a second. Why am I being so passive? Well, first off, the game's stealth-focused, but in keeping with that, our neural disruptor, like our taser thing, has a 3-turn cooldown, and it only knocks out enemies for 2 turns. So really, it's just like a get in, get out type of thing that you've got going on. You can't just run around tasing people or setting up overwatches every turn. The same thing applies to our other unit over here as well. So there's a unit that's probably going to be coming in through here. So I'm going to sneak through here, close this door, and then maybe we'll walk up to this thing right here, and we'll peek through, which does cost an action point. And we can see that there's something going on in here. It might be a camera, it might be a unit. I'm not totally sure, but that's okay for now. We'll end our turn. So this will be level 1 now, I think, or maybe yeah. So now there's additional cameras, which is actually fine for us because we've seen that camera. I'm gonna peek again. Oh, good. We've seen that camera database. Like, we hacked the camera database, so we can see a lot of the cameras, but we still, you know, it pays to be careful, because once enemies find you, if they shoot you, you're dead. Like, 1 shot, 1 kill. I don't know if there's percentage chances associated with the enemy shots, but I've been killed every time I've tried. So we have a couple of options. You know, we could come over here. That'll only give us 1 action point, and I'm pretty sure this guy will just come by and kill us. So let's see what his patrol is going to be. He's going to, like, come over here next time. With only a 1-turn cooldown, I think what we're going to do is is just cool it here, basically. And then with our other unit, you know, I think we're going to open the door and move in, maybe. Alright, so now we can see what's going on in here. Now, I have, like, basically no power, so, I can't hack... I have 1 power, but it costs 2? Is that the case here? Well, here's the thing. I can't hack any of this, but I also don't need to. That unit's not going to come through here, are they? I guess we should be ready, just in case. We'll put on our Overwatch. We don't need to hack those, because there's nothing going on in that room. At least not yet. Alright, so this enemy's going to come over here. This guy has woken up now. So we're going to sneak out here. Oh, and we can hack this console, so I'm going to do that quickly. That'll give us some more power, which we can use for, obviously, very important things. And I feel like I may have kind of screwed myself. If I had taken my time there, I might have been able to get this position, which would be better. But instead, I seem to have put myself in a bit of a touchy spot here. So though the next, this guard's probably going to walk through here next, if I had to guess. So I want to kind of like put myself in a place where I'm behind cover. But none of those really exist. So I'm thinking we may end up having to use this modded cloaking rig. Deckard's personal cloaking rig renders the user invisible for a turn. Can't be used while being watched by an enemy. Okay, so here's what I think. I think we actually, like, move up to here. Oh, that's gonna... It doesn't take an action point? Use cloak. Yeah, so we'll be invisible for a turn. That's the first time I've ever used that. I hope that works out for me. And then when that enemy comes by, he won't see me. So that's kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free card, I guess, for me. Now, let's peek through here, see what we've got going on. Looks like a relatively safe room, so we'll end our turn. I want to see if our business went appropriately up here. That seems pretty lucky to me. Now, did that guard come through this room? I think he did. This will take 6 action points. I think I'm going to come through here, tase this guy quickly. I got to get myself to safety. And then we'll steal whatever he's got on him. He's got 100 credits. And pass card. The pass card allows us to open red doors, which we can't do with this unit because this unit doesn't have the pass card. But anyway, let's sneak through here quickly. And looks like we'll pretty much be doing the same thing here. I have no idea what this is. I have never seen this before in my life. And the peak does nothing. Alright. Now, Deckard, I'm going to want you to get out of here. We do have a little bit more power now, so I'm going to hack the safe and come over here. And I should be able to grab the contents. Sometimes the camera can be a little wonky. Like, why can't I hack this safe? Oh, it's through the wall. Okay. That's a pretty good reason, I suppose. And there's another console in here that we can hack as well. And another safe. So the console will give us some power. Wait, how many action points do we have? 0? Can we get through the door at least? We can, and then we can close it. Alright, so we're probably safe in here, and we have kind of an escape route, sort of, that will allow us to get to the elevator. That's really one of the things that I like the most about Invisible Ink is the flexible kind of... See, this guy's hunting us now. The flexible kind of objectives that you've got going on. So, we have to choose when we're done with this level. We could explore 100% and then leave, but if we misplay a little bit and things get dicey, what we may just want to do is, like, get maybe a few credits and then just get the heck out. Because seriously, like, losing a squad member is crazy in this relative to what it is in something like XCOM. Losing a squad member in XCOM can be tragic, can be potentially catastrophic if you're at a certain, you know, very critical point in the game. Losing a squad member, though, in Invisible Ink is just... I wouldn't necessarily say... you know, suicidal, but it creates some serious problems. And can very, very easily lead to a game over. So I'm going to end this turn. I'm happy with the information we've gotten so far. Level 2 is going to begin pretty soon. So we have to decide how we're going to get Deckard out of this situation. Now, his melee weapon is on cooldown for another turn. There's no way I'm running into this hornet's nest here. One thing we might want to do, if we're just going to be dead set on leaving, is we can turn on this ability to run. We can't do it right now because we already moved. You have to do it before you do anything. But if we turn on run, it gives us like +4 movement points. I think it gives us like 14. Yeah, 14 movement points when we move. Or 13 maybe because I haven't upgraded the character. But anyway, I'm going to open up this door and see what the heck's going on in here. Do we have a camera? We do. So we can hack that quickly. It'll also allow us to hijack this console. And if we move like a couple steps further, we should be able to hijack this console as well. Oh, we've already done it. I'm an idiot. Okay, so I'm thinking that we've done a pretty good job. We haven't gotten all of the intel or anything like that, but we've done a pretty good job of getting what we came here for. Now, everything has double the power base, or not double, but everything has +1 power now, which is not great for me, but we're gonna try to just get to the exit here. So there's a guard there. If I sneak through here, he won't see me. Possibly. This guy, what is he doing? Let's start with this unit, because we need to get them, to the exit. If we're gonna run with Deckard. If I turn on run, like, how far can Deckard get on this turn? To here. So +4 movement points is not gonna do him any favors. And you might be saying, well, why don't you just sneak up behind this guy and, like, knock him out? It's truly not an awful idea, except that I worry with our movement path here, we'll end up walking through his vision cone. Like, sidling up and then diagonally moving behind him. I think diagonal movement takes 2 movement points, but I'm not sure. So I think we might cool it and try to get our units to coordinate like an assault and kill both of them on the same turn, and then run to the exit, if that makes sense. I don't know what happened there. But we also want to do this before the alarm gets too crazy, because the alarm level is something that very much has an impact on how we choose to play the game. It changes things. Now, we didn't hack that safe back here, oh, I was thinking of a different mission. I was thinking of the mission I played off camera. So we're just peeking. Again, we're just going to end our turn here. And again, okay, well, we can definitely knock him out and then get safe. So let's do that. We'll walk out, knock him out. I think we've already stolen from him, so he shouldn't have anything else. We can drag the body if we want to put it in, like, a better room. But honestly, I think this is the best room for him. So he'll be out for 2 turns. We'll close the door so, you know, he doesn't know anything ever happened. And we'll leave this door open. We can't use our melee attack again for 3 turns. So that's important to note. We're going to try to get out of here now. So we'll put Internationale here and end turn. If she ran, she could probably get to the exit on the next turn. Ooh, that's a little scary. So we're gonna sneak out a little bit here. Peek. Okay. And then come over here. And we should be able to get to the elevator on the next turn. Now, can we... It gets a little framey sometimes when you switch angles. Can we knock this guy out? I believe the answer to that question is yes. There's no cooldown on our melee attack. Yeah, so we'll just run behind him. Knock him out quickly. Can't remember if we've stolen from him, but we'll try to. Nope. He has been stolen from in the past. All right, end turn. And now we just wait. The alarm's not even gonna get to level 3, so this is lucky for us. So we're gonna come into the elevator here with one character, come into the elevator with the other character. You have to have all of the squad members on the elevator if you want them to both come out. So that's our mission. We did it. We only explored 74% of the map, and we probably missed some higher level objectives, but we got out safely. So we earned a few credits. We didn't get any corporate intelligence, which is probably located in those locked rooms. We didn't kill any guards, which I think is good for us because it's outlined in red here. And we didn't have any cleanup costs. And I think that's when you do something that's bad, like if they spot you on a camera or something, then they have to spend money to, you know, sweep it under the rug. It kind of reminds me of like the scoring system or the mission end system in old Hitman games. So when we continue, your credits are really flexible. They're almost like Souls in Dark Souls. You know, it wouldn't be a Northern Lion video if I didn't compare a game to Dark Souls at some point. But, yeah, they're your jack of all trades, your currency you use for everything. You use them to buy items, which we didn't see, but there's kind of this weird little, like, shoehorned shops in missions. So you'll be in, like, a building, and you can hack a shop and then use that shop to buy stuff. It's a little arbitrary, but whatever. It's not like it's immersion breaking or anything like that. But, yeah, you can buy, like, new weapons and... you could give yourself like a ranged trank gun or something like that instead of just your melee taser. And also buy things like medkits to be able to revive your units. Because the units don't usually get shot in the head and killed. They just kind of pass out. But if you can't get anyone to them, then they die. We also use them to level up. That's where the Dark Souls kind of comparison comes in here. So I'm going to level up the stealth on Internationale. And you can see, oh, the other stat here is anarchy. So anarchy is basically just like how ethical, I guess, you are in your duties. So, you know, at first you can only steal from guards that are KO'd. as you get more and more advanced in the Anarchy tier, you can steal more credits, and you can steal credits without actually knocking the unit out. Which seems like it would be useful in case you have like melee cooldown, or you just have a good path around enemies that keeps you out of their line of sight, but you don't want to waste time knocking them out, or maybe you're doing some kind of challenge run or something like that. What does hacking do? Enables use of additional hacking items. Okay. And as time goes on, it gives you more power. I think movement's really important, so I'm going to give International a little bit more movement, and I'll probably save my money here. And then you just go back to mission select, and that's pretty much how the game plays out right now. So it's surprisingly robust for an early access game, and I really love games that have this kind of like countdown to something happening. You know, another game that has a countdown and a sense of impending doom, Splinter Cell Blacklist. I got all the Northern Lion games that I like to reference in these videos done. It also had a kind of mission select screen similar to this. What are you trying to pull here, Clay? But anyway, yeah. As always, I like to end these videos that are on early access titles by saying this is a work in progress. What you're seeing right now might not be representative of the final product, usually in a good way. Usually the final product ends up being better. That being said, this is already a much better game than it was when I covered it last August. Last August was just kind of a shell of what it has become now. And this is only the beta version of the game. I'm really excited to see how it turns out when it gets more robust. It's $16, 20% off for its opening week sale. So normal price is $20, it's $16. Maybe for the entirety of early access, but definitely for its opening week sale at least. I'm not 100% sure. I really like this. I'm going to be playing this on the channel. There will definitely be a series. Don't totally know how it's going to go because I don't 100% understand the structure of the game and what happens after 72 hours and stuff like that. But I like this a lot. If you choose to sit on it and wait on it, I totally understand. That is probably the smart man or woman's play when it comes to early access stuff. That being said, there's a lot to like here, and if you're a big fan of games like the Banner Saga, Fire Emblem, XCOM is an obvious one, you should really check this out. I play a lot of those games, even though you might, turn up your nose and say that I'm bad at them, and you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. And this is up there, man. This is a lot of fun, even in its current, I don't want to call it primitive, but more primitive than it will be when it releases, even in its kind of primitive state. So, yeah, I'm excited by this. I was kind of, I don't want to say underwhelmed by Invisible Ink, but I was a little underwhelmed by Invisible Ink when I played it last summer. It has come a long way. They've made some very smart decisions that have made the game much better, and it's really easy to recommend for fans of people who, or for fans of people who are fans of strategic games like this. And I'm rambling, and rambling is always a good sign when it comes to at least being positive. So, there will be a link in the video description below to pick up Invisible Ink. Again, caveat emptor because of the Steam Early Access stuff. But in any case, it's $16, $20 if it's outside of the sale period. If you enjoyed the video, click the like button. It helps out a lot. Subscribe if you want to see more first impressions in the future. And, of course, when my Invisible Ink series starts, I hope you'll check it out if you like what you saw here. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.